Would you date a big girl?
A big girl? I don't know. You gotta tell me big, like
What about someone my size?
your size. I don't discriminate. You know what I mean? Have I ever been with a big girl? Nah.
So would you? Would you not?
Shit, I don't know till I try, I guess.
Would you date a big girl?
Of course.
Have you yet?
Have I? Yeah.
How was it like?
Know any other different from a skinny girl?
A lot of people feel like or say that it's different, but it's not.
Well, I can see why.
Why do you think that is?
I guess it has to do with, like, I don't know. A lot of people think because I'm big too. You know, I'm big myself. I've always been big, but a lot of people think because I'm big, I'm soft. So it's like, you know, kind of mix in with that. But there's nothing wrong with that. You really like them skinny or big. I mean, everyone got their own flavor, so.
I just need to address something really quickly that I am seeing all over TikTok. My name is Yaga and I am a love witch. There are a lot of creators explaining how to get somebody to be obsessed with you, to get somebody to fall in love with you, or how to act to get them hooked on you. Please do not try any of those tactics, spells, or methods unless you know what you are doing. Because what you don't want to do is anger spirits, chase what is not meant for you, or give away your energy. And if you perform obsession spells on someone that's not meant for you, you are doing black magic on yourself. And as a love witch, we live by the rules of what I want wants me more. And energy is currency. Follow me for more.
If you identify as a witch, I just want to make it clear that you do not have to pick something to follow. You don't have to start practicing Wicca or voodoo or hoodoo or anything specific. You don't have to follow anything. This is not a religion. You can literally do whatever you want, okay? If somebody asks you what kind of witch you are, say you're an eclectic witch. You take a little bit from here, a little bit from there, a little bit from everywhere, okay? Because one thing about it, if I wanted to identify with something specific, I would have stayed with Catholicism. I would have identified with Christianity. I would have followed a religion if I wanted to identify with something. I don't. I don't like rules. That's why I left religion alone. I want to do whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it. So when someone asks me what kind of witch I am, I'm an eclectic witch. I take a little bit from hoodoo, a little bit from voodoo, a little bit from Wicca, a little bit from kitchen witch, green witch, whatever. All of it, okay? So you don't have to pick something. Just know that.
It is your boy, Black Ronin, back on at it again with another banger and fire video for y'all's out here today. There y'all. Welcome on back to the channel. But guys, I'm finna cook on this one. I'm finna cook. So I'm gonna need y'all to watch to the very end. Very, very important video. This must be said. So let's jump on into it, guys. In the title of this video, why are so many women anti-God? I know the reason. Actually multiple reasons why, but let's go into it, guys. And I gotta talk about the man and the woman here because it falls on both. So we gotta start with the men, guys. All the men, y'all need to understand why women are acting the way they're acting right now. It's because most men allow them to. Like guys, the average relationship I look around and I see, it's a very weak relationship. You know, the roles are reversed. Y'all not living in a godly way. Now, I'm not here to judge. Listen, we all sin at the end of the day. But, men, y'all have no backbone nowadays with women. Y'all let them run everything. Like, I get it, guys. This dating market can be brutal. I ain't even going to lie to you. But if you're a Christian out there, you got to be extra cautious out here. And if you're a man, you can't let a woman be above you like that. You know, like there's supposed to be a natural balance between the masculine and femininity in the relationship. You know, you're supposed to be the leader and the person that can, you know, that she can look up to, you know, and really count on. And this is why a lot of women are walking around with the mindset that they don't need no men, because let's be honest, guys, the reason why a lot of women are acting the way they're acting, and after I just, you know, really grown up as a person, hitting the gym, you know, living healthier, I really noticed how dirty and just down bad a lot of men really live out here. The average male lives pretty dang on rough. And a woman is going to mirror that. That's one thing I noticed, guys. Like women are a mirror of the man's reflection. So as he's living fully on chaotic, and then on top of that, you top it off with the society degeneracy, of course she's going to behave that way. And you give her an incentive to behave that way. I can't get mad at a woman for choosing that. You know, but there is a way to gain our power back. And a lot of men are definitely waking up to that. If you're a Christian out there, like myself, it's very, very important that you go hit the gym, because your body is a temple. You don't have to be the biggest, strongest dude in there, but anybody will tell you when you live more healthier and put the right things into your body, you're going to be able to have a lot more confidence. You're going to be happier. And as a man, you know, like you just really enjoy your peace. You enjoy doing the simple things in life. Not a lot of men really live like that. A lot of men are very materialistic. Like I be like, this is why I can't really relate to a lot of dudes out here. You know, like, cause one thing with me, it don't take a lot of money and just a bunch of stuff to make me happy. I hear a lot of dudes, they be like, oh, I want a Bugatti, Lamborghini and all this. I'm like, bro, you don't need all that. If you had a top tier body, or at least working towards it, you would be so happy. I'm telling you, man, you'll have so many opportunities come your way. And even just building a business becomes a lot more easier, because people can see, wow, this person can really take care of himself. He's disciplined. Like, people pay attention to those things. Now, is life easier? Heck no. I think the worst thing that you're going to notice, especially if you've never really been that dude that fits in automatically, but then you level up and you gain your confidence and, you know, you build your body, your physique, and take care of your temple, you're really, really going to be an outcast for sure, because most Americans are obese. They're obese, they're fat, and they don't plan on changing that. You know, like they'll just eat whatever, which granted, yeah, I'll eat whatever too at times, but I don't do it for a living. You know, but that's a lot of Americans, both men and women. And like I said, a woman is a mirror of a man's reflection. So if the men are obese, they're not caring. Why? Like, you think the woman's going to care? Absolutely not. You know, and we're seeing that more and more. And looking around, I'm just like, cause guys, one thing that I notice in the church as well, because like, I mean, I don't really go to church as much, not like I used to, but if I do go to a church, like I really do gotta see, I'm gonna be real with you guys, if I don't see a masculine figure in the church, I can't do it. I can't be in there. Like if a male that's leading the church, he's not promoting you know, like literally to actually live a healthier life and really improve your life. Because a lot of Christians get it messed up and be like, oh, you're not supposed to be performative and all this stuff. I'm not saying you're supposed to be this top tier person. No, but listen, you think God wants you walking around looking like this? You think God proud of that? Now listen, yeah, I'm tatted up. I ain't gonna lie, you know, like, but at the end of the day, you know, pretty sure God be more happier with a person that looks like me, you know, healthy habits, going somewhere in life, and still hasn't forgotten about God and tries his best to live as Christ-like as possible. Pretty sure God be a lot more proud with that person than a person that just claims that they're Christian, but they're still worldly. Now I get it, you know, we all have our flaws. Nobody's here perfect over here. But when it comes down to women, you know, you really can't drop the ball on your energy that you give off and your physical appearance. Like, guys, like, y'all got to put in work. Like, I should not walk into the average church and everybody is out of shape and overweight. Like, that should be a no-no. I should not walk into the church where it feels pandering. whenever I hear a pastor speaks. I should not walk into a church and I literally, like, let's say they got food and stuff available, but I see pork. Why am I seeing bacon? Why am I seeing things that shouldn't be in a church? Why am I not seeing salads and healthier options? No, like why am I not seeing tofu? Like, guys, we gotta have some smarter people come into the church and educate people. And I thank God for YouTube because I can really talk to people on here. You know, I'm not a pastor or nothing like that, but you know, I just want to see people do better. And also another thing too, guys, with the men. A lot of y'all really think y'all can lead a woman with the money. And and y'all seeing, and this is why I keep saying a woman is a mirror of the man's reflection. Because we see what men value. They trying to get as rich as possible, and that's it. Money, money, money. And listen, man, like money is a great tool. Ain't nothing wrong with making your money and trying to make it out here. Nothing wrong with that. But if you think that's what really define you, you crazy. And best believe, and this is how I know, you know, money is not everything, because when I got in decent shape, listen, anybody who knows, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. The most attention you get as a dude that's in decent shape, look decent, you're gonna get the most attention from married women. That is the number one group of women that's giving you the most attention. Now, I'm not no home wrecker. I don't believe in that, but I know a lot of dudes, they don't care. But yeah, I just feel like you're going to get a lot of bad karma from messing up people's marriages. But that says it right there. You see what the woman really likes. She, like a person similar to me, you know, don't matter the shade or, you know, color. Like, she wants a masculine person. Now, granted, I ain't got the money and my finances all together, but I can tell you one thing. Hey, I'm living better than the average male walking around here. So yeah, you know, like that idea that you got to have a bunch of money to keep a woman. No. You may be able to keep her for a long time, but best believe she playing you. She getting smashed by a bunch of dudes on the side that you just don't know about. Women will play it off. It don't matter how Christian she is. That don't matter. I got plenty of Christian friends who they getting burnt out there. Got a friend out there, he got a kid and everything. Girl took his kid and everything. And I seen him, I said, don't get me wrong, he not a bad looking dude, but I seen, you know, he had a belly on him. But he recently got back in the gym. So I'm proud of him. You know, he said, hey, I gotta get myself all together, you know. You know, y'all need to really get better with the dynamic between men and women, you know, masculine, feminine energy. Like, that's very, very important. And another thing too, y'all men need to get better on is knowing what y'all want out of the relationship and standing on business when it comes down to a woman that's disrespecting you and doing things that you don't like. And after you address it, she still does it. Y'all don't know how to move on. A lot of y'all live in such a scarcity mindset. That's why a lot of women don't like a lot of men. That's why a lot of women are behaving the way they out here actually behaving. Because a lot of y'all literally don't have any type of backbone to even stand up to your woman. I had one person told me in the past, a little white dude. I ain't gonna name his name or that, but don't get me wrong, like, we really super cool. But hey, listen, some of y'all white guys, y'all gotta do better, man. Bro told me to be a yes man. That is so dangerous. Do not be a yes man when you're dealing with women. I don't care how cool you is, how attractive you think you is as a man. I don't care what type of man you is. Do not be no yes man. You know, she ain't gonna respect that. I think a lot of women are right now, I mean, like, they're conditioned to it now. They're very, very conditioned. But I can't even get fully upset with a lot of men that who think like that, because that's what the movies promote. That's what entertainment promotes. But guys, that's not real. A man ain't supposed to be no yes man. You know, you're supposed to have boundaries. A woman is going to respect you a lot more when you got some boundaries. You know, like some of my boundaries, you know, like I don't date women that don't hit the gym, you know, don't upkeep themselves healthy, smell good. Very, very important things, In terms of cooking, yeah, cooking is important, but I ain't gonna lie, I feel like I can outcook a lot of women if I'm just being honest, especially in this day and age. And I eat the same thing for the most part. I eat a lot of tofu, so I already eat very uniquely, so I don't really care if a woman really cook like that, because I really eat very similar, and I just feel like I can outcook a lot of women in general nowadays. But you know, but I'm very, very simple in terms of my requirements out of women. Tattoos, I don't care about that, just as long as they look decent, But yeah, that's just some of my boundaries, like, and some of my, things I look for. But yeah, a lot of y'all dudes, y'all just take anything. Like, I don't care how beautiful a woman is. Like, y'all got to know how to move on. And some of y'all get caught up, be like, oh, well, already laid with her. It's not good for me to sleep around. I agree. But at the same time, even in the Bible, guys, it states that it's much better to be alone in the desert or in the woods than be with a woman that's degrading you and putting you down. I'm just trying to summarize it. I'm not trying to say it word by word, but, like, you're not supposed to be with a woman that's degrading you as a man. Like, it's better to be alone. That's in the word. And then on top of that, when you look at a lot of the great leaders and greatest people in the Bible, you had Abraham, King David, Solomon. They all had multiple wives and concubines and like a bunch of women, That's not to say that that's what God intended. No, but after, like, guys, you won't know this until you become a decent looking man. Until you be a man that's very appealing to other women, y'all won't know the other side of women. Then you will see, oh, okay, I see why King David and all them had all these women, like all these different types of women. I see why that happened. But y'all wouldn't know that because y'all don't, y'all really don't live Christ-like as y'all say y'all do. And women ain't dumb, guys. Like, this is why so many women are like, man, a lot of these dudes fake out here. I'm just going to do whatever. This is why you see a lot of white girls, atheists. Don't get me wrong. Like, I rock with the white woman, but like I said, they change a lot, man. And I think that's due to a lot of the men, a lot of their own men. Cause like y'all might have looked decent back in the day, but man, once y'all got out here in this world, y'all just say the heck with the gym, the heck with all the, things I'm supposed to be doing as a man, and then the woman gonna follow. And in the black community, like melanated community, went through oh man, it crazy over here. Back in the day, like, you always had that one black girl that would be riding for you, melanated person that's gonna be riding for you, it was like the community was a lot stronger back in the day growing up, but now we don't see that. Now, don't get me wrong, it's starting to get better with the internet. People are paying more and more attention to each other. But yeah, like, guys, as men, we all got to do better. It's not about the money. I'm not saying money don't matter, but just be working towards something. And maybe a lot of women will start to change and respect the man again. Will it happen? In America, it won't be a sprint. But with a lot of delusion, a lot of dudes be living in, probably not. But that's enough for the men. Now I got to jump over to the women. I know a lot of y'all men, y'all finna snap off in the comments, but hey, I'm ready for it. But now I got to get on to the women. Why are women anti-God? After addressing the men, let's look at the woman. Well, unfortunately here in America, women have been weaponized so much against our society. It's insane. They tell them anything society tells a woman, they finna do it. And I can't get upset that a woman is going to go out here, go do all this promiscuous stuff because, listen, they're getting a big incentive to do it. And then you add social media on there. They get all these options of different men sliding in the DMs. That ego is going through the roof. They're gonna be like, oh man, I can get this, I can live this lifestyle. I don't need the average Joe. Now, is that every woman walking around? No, there are some women who don't even rock with social media. In fact, guys, did you know that Scarlett Johansson, I can't remember an interview or whatever, but you know, she was saying back in the day, she don't even rock with social media. She did it once and she ain't really like it. She ain't even on like guys, she ain't even on social media like that. She don't even do that whole stuff. But you know, yeah, guys, you know, it's just when it comes down to women, why they turn anti-God, I mean, society rewards them to do the most degenerate stuff. And then you mix it in with a bad economy that is, when like in terms of just money and everything, a woman outperforms a man so quickly. I don't think y'all realize this. It's very, very easy for a woman to make a lot of money. And corporations know this. This is why they recruit more women more than ever. Because they know if they can get the male attracted and get him, I like what I see. Let me go over there and spend my money. These corporations ain't dumb, guys. You know, they finna use the woman to their advantage. This is why women are so in love with the money, and they get into new heights and new places, and they realize how wicked people can be at the top. And then this is the result that we get. And then mix it with weak men walking around. Of course, they're going to turn out anti-God. And then you see these corporations, they're not in the best interest for them. They're just there to make as much money and extract from them as possible. You know, they told them to turn their femininity, throw that out the window. You're meant to be a boss and do all that stuff. Nothing against a woman that's a boss babe, you know. But at the same time, you got to have your feminine energy as well. I don't mind you want to go start your business and do all that stuff. I'm not against that. But just keep in mind, like, you're not meant to be that type of performative person, you know. Like, again, you know, like, hey, if you're able to do that, that's great. But you're not meant to do that on, like, the level a lot of men can do. And that's not me trying to sound sexist, you know. It's like, guys, it's the truth, you know. Again, I'm not against a woman that wants to do her own thing, you know. Like, I'm not here to judge whatsoever. In fact, I like some of the best women that has treated me the best, like, as a man. But y'all men wouldn't do this because y'all don't deal with a lot of women. But like, some of the best women I met is the woman that got their own stuff going. I mean, these women will spoil me. They'll take me out to eat. I ain't got to spend no money. A lot of older women. And, you know, people go, oh, they're desperate. No, she just wise. She just wised up. She's been through a lot. She saw the system screwed her over. And she reached the point where it's time to do better. I know I'm not good enough on the market, but hey, I'm finna do better. And a lot of dudes are going to be like, oh, man, well, you know, you shouldn't be bouncing around from women until you hit the gym, until you start living better in life. And listen, who said I was bouncing around from woman to woman? Listen, if I bounce from another woman, it's because that woman disrespected me, because that woman stopped valuing me. Of course, I'm going to move on. You know, like, at the end of the day, our peace is everything. But going back to the woman has been weaponized so much over the years against us. You know, saying that they're equal to men. No, men and women are very, very different creatures. And that needs to be really, really talked about. And it's sad that we can't even come together anymore as people, men and women. You know, it's very, very sad at the route that really we went down in life. And I never thought it would get this bad, you know. But hey, maybe one of these days, hopefully this message really do get out there. But yeah, this is a big problem. And then also another thing too, guys, with the woman is a lot of women just don't hit the gym. They don't hit the gym. A lot of them, you know, like it's so many dudes that are down and just out bad. They'll go smash anything. Just why men got to work on their lust. You know, channel that, put it somewhere else at times. But they go knock down anything and they wonder why the dating market is so bad. Like, you can't be knocking down 3s and 2s, 1s, and expecting the dating market to be awesome. This is why we got people, like, guys, this is why you got big women out there thinking they're 10s. because they get a down and out dude that looks somewhat decent, but he broke and he spiritually not aware. He knocks her down. She just lights up. Even if it don't go nowhere, she thinking she a 10. And that's insane, guys. You know, like if you're a decent looking dude or attractive dude, you should only be dealing with decent to attractive women. Sure, you can date down a little bit. You can get somebody slightly average or slightly above average, but don't downplay yourself to a woman that you're just not physically attracted to. Like, I'd much rather you go rub one out as a man and then, you know, get your head cleared out, you know, then go back out there and try to get what you want. I'd much rather you do that. But yeah, hit the gym, woman. Women gotta hit the gym. Women gotta listen to their partner more, work together, understand that men and women are very different. And also women, you know, they have been weaponized to the point that in terms of family, raising a family, kids and stuff. Yeah, like, I mean, it's crazy, man, like how bad women has been weaponized to just not care about certain things anymore. But that's really due to the people up top, you know, corporations and stuff in our country. That's really due to them. Because if that was on point, masculinity was on point in America, none of this would ever happen. As more people thought outside the box, try to become less reliant of the system, it'll be a much better environment to live in with one another. But that's really all I gotta say. This is why I personally think a lot of women is anti-God, because men and women aren't living well. Men are living not the best, and women are a big reflection of that, because I don't see too many men who are Christian. And yeah, that also mirrors to the woman. And then you mix that with weak men around, then you mix that with a toxic corporations up top, mix that with weaponizing the woman against the man. This is what you get. But that's all I gotta say. It is your boy Black Ronin. Like and subscribe, share. Y'all take it easy.